Hello everyone, how are you? Good to see you. Happy Friday. It's Drama Free Friday. Got a commercial? Okay, well wait a second. Hello. Okay, there we go. How's everybody today on a Drama Free Friday? I hope you're doing well. It's been busy around here, so I'm a little bit late getting on. But anyway, we made it. You can't stop me. It's Friday. Hi, Shirley. Pekka Shells. Let's see. Auntie Michael JZ. Travis. Hey, Debbie Boring. Good to see you. Hi, Ina. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Pavla. Hi, Jane. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you. Hi, Marion. Let's see who else. Michelle. Michelle's working. Don't tell. She's working. Don't anybody bother Michelle. Just scrolling back to see who is here. Hi, Tia. Hi, Judith. Debbie, my sparkle is just unicorn glitter spit fine. Hi, Lori. Nancy, I saw that you had sent me a message, but I have not had time to go look at it. So the answer is yes and no. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Patty. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Eileen. Good to see you. Hi, Jillian. Hi, Martha. Nancy, I will read it. It probably will be a couple of hours or so after I get done streaming before I'm actually going to have time to get to it. So Fridays, Thursday night and Friday are just a zoo for me. So I will get there. I really will. Just give me a little bit of time. Let's see. Black Kitten is Lorraine. Hey, Lorraine. Oh, you're being impatient about Mandala Madness. We're putting the finishing touches on it. I know I've said that probably for a couple of weeks, but that's the finish up stuff is takes the most time. The recording of the classes, which has been done for quite a while, is just the tip of the iceberg for getting it all online so that it functions properly. So Mandala Madness is coming. We're in the final stages of it. I don't have a start date yet, but it's coming soon. Nancy's back in members. Good for you, Nancy. Hi, Mare. Hi, Vicky. Let's see. Cindy, I don't know if I said hello. Hi, Krissa. Oh, there's Clausman in the house. Hi, Alice. Good to see you. Nice to have you join us. All right. Hey, Ruth. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well on this fun Drama-Free Friday. Let's see. I'm just going to have a bit of tea and chat a minute. Hi, Dee Dee. Dee Dee Sue, is that what it is? I hope that's right. Oh, no, that Richard Owen's not the technical department, unless Race came in. Did Race come in? Richard Owen is Clausman. And then we have the technical department. He's a different one. He is a different one yet. Hi, Barbara. Dee Dee Sue. Okay, cool. Nice to have you. I haven't seen your name before, so it's nice to have you join us. If you see, I did, but Cindy says, you did, but you can say it as much as you like. Okay, Cindy. Where's Linda McAllister anyway? Jane's going to put the kettle on, but you guys are going to have to supply your own cups. So there you go. but she's got the thought that counts. Hi, Dana. Nice to see you. This is your first live show, DDC? Good. That's great. Welcome, welcome. So we got a nice group coming in here. Looks like everything's going the way it's supposed to. Let's see. Drama-free Friday. What's going on this week? A lot of recording, a lot of details for stuff on the website, but that's kind of typical. A lot of last minute touching up things for Mandala Madness. So we've got that going on. Recording classes, uploading classes. What else? I put up 2 What Is videos this week on YouTube. Those are the short videos that answer questions. The kinds of faces we're doing today are the stamps. We're going to do the other 3 stamp images. So we did 1 last week. We'll do the other 3 today. So, hi, Hayes. Nice to see you. I don't think I've seen your name before. Hi, Mary Marlowe. Sorry, can't read. Mary Marlowe. Nice to see your name in the chat. Oh, Shirley just had a problem with her mermaid marker leaking red of all colors. So now she looks like she bled, like she cut herself. There's Shelley. Hello, Shelley. Hi, Ann Norval. Sandra, nice to see you. Oh, there's Linda McAllister. I flushed her out. I called her out and flushed her out. Linda McAllister. She reminds me of one of those puppets by, what's his name? Oh, I always forget the guy's name. The ventriloquist. Yeah. Oh, anyway, I forgot his name. He has one of his puppets that does that, talks like that. I can't remember who it is. Jeff? Is it Jeff? Dunham. Jeff Dunham. Hello, Christine. Nice to see you. I was just calling you out, Linda. I was just calling you out. Didn't miss anything. We were just teasing, that's all. Hayes is here, and I'm here most drama frees. Oh, good. Great. That's wonderful. Krista says she loved both of the videos, and she really learned a lot about thread. Well, let me tell you. Yeah, thanks, Ruth. I thought about it just before you typed that in. Hey, Stephen. Nice to see you. Thanks, Barb, for the correct pronunciation of my name. Sandra, that was a lucky guess, I have to say. Peanut. That's who it is, Linda. Peanut. Yes. Linda McAllister. Yes, that's Peanut. You're right. Peanut's the character. Jeff Dunham. Yes, that's right. See the things you learn here on Drama Free Friday? Yeah. Okay, so Krista said she learned a lot about thread. If you want to learn even more about thread, I have a class in the member area at HowToGetCreative.com called How to Buy Thread. There's another one called How to Buy Needles, and it is more information than and it's literally, trust me, just the tip of the iceberg about both of those subjects. But they are incredibly important things if you really want to understand how thread and needles affect how you stitch and the quality of your stitching and your sewing machine and all that kind of stuff. So those are both classes listed in the membership area, just so you know. And Barbara Miller. Hi, Barb, for another Barb. Do we have another Barbara here, too? Seemed like we had another one. Or maybe that was the same one. Scrolling back, scrolling. Well, anyway, I don't know. And the chat gets to go. And hi, Ian. Nice to see you. Marion got her face stamps. Good. Hi, Deborah. Sarah. Isn't peanut purple? Purple is someone's favorite color in the chat. Yes, I know that to be a fact. Is it Sarah? C-E-R-A? Is that Sarah? You'll have to put it in like Linda did. I said, put it in phonetically so I know how to pronounce it. So she put in Linda. Hi, Caroline. All right. So let's get started, shall we? Hi, Nancy. You got in the live chat? Good. Ruth said the needles one is amazing. She didn't know there was so much she didn't know about needles. That's true. Yes. Nancy says she's doing a mandala while we chat. She did her first ever 20 minutes of yoga today. Good for you. Go you, Nancy. That's right. Yeah, Ruth is the one that likes purple. Yes, she does. Yeah, I bet that's right, Sandra. I bet most people call it Sandra. Sandra. It's pretty obvious with the spelling, honestly. Dorothy Gibbs, I have been given some lovely, large, old wooden cotton reels. Oh, like the spools that cotton thread came on? Is that what a cotton reel? I'm not sure what that is. Would that be what that is? Or a spindle? Kira. I'm going to have to write that down. Okay, cool. Oh, Barbara's skipping her yoga class again. Uh-oh. Yes, let's get cracking. And Stephen is watching and making foam stamps for his next art journal class. Good for you, Stephen. That's great. I think that's really Kira, as in, see, here I go, getting myself confused again. Ian did Yoda today. He says, I did Yoda today. It was a great impression. Yes, Ian, always the punster. All right. I was just taking a break. If my voice goes wonky, it's because I've been talking for the last hour and a half. So we'll just sort of give me we'll cut me some slack, right? Okay, official opening. Welcome to Drama Free Friday. I'm Barb Owen of HowToGetCreative.com. And this is the Drama Free Friday. This is the HowToGetCreative.com show known as Drama Free Friday. Why is it drama free, you ask? Of course, I know you ask me that. Every week you ask me that. And let's see. Oh, Dorothy, it's in the VIP area. That's where you'll find it. In the VIP area on the website. That's where you'll find it. And why is it drama free? It is drama free because there's nothing we can do about what's going on in the world. Because if we could do something about it, we should be out there doing it and not in here watching me. That's why it's Drama Free Friday. That's why it's Drama Free Friday. Hello, Meg. Hi, Aunt Beck. Don't get dramatic about it. I have to, Stephen. I have to get dramatic about something on Drama Free Friday, for heaven's sakes. All right, let's do some faces, shall we? Last week, we did some faces using my Fun Faces rubber stamps. And these are the ones that I did. Get myself straight with the world, or more or less straight with the world. All right, what's my issue with the camera today? I must have whacked it accidentally. I'm sorry, camera. Cooperate with me, okay? Here we go. So this is what we were doing last week. We were using these little rubber stamps. This is the image that we used here. And there's 4 images. And you'll find the link to these in the description box below the video. So there are 4 images that come in the package. I showed all this last week. If anybody has specific questions, I will show you, or you can ask more specific questions. Nancy wants to know how long I've been streaming live. For about I think it's 6.5 years or 6 years. Let's see. Patty says she thought it was because it doesn't cost anything. I lost the thread on that one, Patty. Sorry. Hi, Patty. Sometimes I lose the thread because my brain is, by the time my head and the chat and the lag catch up with each other, I've already moved to the next thing. Yeah, everybody that ordered stamps, they've all gone out, so they should be arriving momentarily because they went out as soon as they were ordered. So anyway, here are the 4 images, and the one that we did here was Harriet, and so that's the one we did right here. So these are the little finished cards, and I did one where I put a little shoulders on her, shoulders and a neck and a hat and some hair. And then this is another one, and she has a little hat. She has, this particular image reminds me of kind of a 1920s kind of feel about her, and so she has on a little hat with a little bit of netting. This is a little netting that comes down over her eyes. She has purple eyes. This one has green eyes. This one has blue eyes. So, yeah. So that's, yeah, she's based on the Flapper Girl. She's based on a Flapper Girl, which is the doll that was created for the space. Okay, so that's what we did, and I put words on each of them. Sometimes they don't make any sense, but, sometimes they do. This one is, you can never have too much happy. This one is, be you, bravely, be fearless, be original, because I think that's what she needs, is all of those things. That's what she's telling you. And this one, it's always the small pieces that make up the big picture. And on this one, I like having just the face on it a little bit, so I thought we'd do that, some of that as well. So I thought today we would use a dark fabric. Hi, Christine. Hi, Kristen. Yep, they're on their way, Kristen. Hi, Muriel. Let's see. Barbara says she's finishing a face for her year 2017 Angel Dolls. Oh, that's great. Lorraine says they're so adorable. So glad to have my faces to play with. Oh, great. I'm glad you're enjoying them and that you will enjoy them. Hi, Muriel. Hi, Katie. Hey, CB. Okay, so what we're going to do is, at this point, once I start this, I won't probably keep up with the chat quite as well, so just forgive me in advance, because here we go. So what I have here is I have a hand-dyed fabric. This is a piece of hand-dyed fabric, so I thought I would show it to you. This is dyed with, this is muslin. And you can see when I hand dye them, I don't always get even dyeing, and I don't really care too much. And so this is a combination of peach and pink and tan and cocoa, I think. And these are all RIT dyes that I use to do these. And so I did these a long time ago, and when I dye fabric for skin tones, I just dye a whole bunch of them. And they come out the way they come out. So no two are generally the same. And then I took that fabric and a piece of Steam-A-Seam 2. This is double-sided, it's double stick fusible web. It has paper on both sides of it. It is a heat-activated fusible, and I fused that to the fabric, and then I removed the paper on the other side and fused it onto cardstock. So this is fabric on cardstock. Kathy says she's glad I have fun faces. She's been looking for them everywhere. Well, you came to the right spot because I'm the one that made them. So good. The link is in the description box below the video. If you still want to order them, I still have some. I am in the final quantities of the stamps, so if you want them, you need to get them while they're getting good, because I am in the final quantities. I'm down to where I'm counting sets now, and so I still probably have enough for whatever the next orders that come in, and then we're going to get really close to having to decide whether we're going to order more or what we're going to do. I don't know. If I do order more, I'm going to change the images a little bit because I'm tired. I love these girls, but I'm tired of them. I have to say, I'm ready to move on to something else, although I love them. Okay, let's go back to the girls here. So then after I cut them out, and I cut these with a rotary cutter, I cut them 3 3/4 by 5 inches is the size that I cut them. And I'm going to stamp them. So I'm going to use the darkest of my inks here, and I think sepia is the darkest one. Hi, Shoo. And so if you have questions or things you want my attention, be sure you put it in all caps, because otherwise, hi Anna Maria. If you don't, I may not see it. And sometimes I still miss it. I don't mean to, but sometimes I still miss what you say in the chat, even if it's in caps. I try not to, but sometimes I do. Okay, so I'm using Archival Ink. This happens to be an old Archival Ink, hence the packaging is old. The color is sepia. We're going to see if it shows up on this. Actually, I'm going to stamp it on this first. I'm going to stamp it on a scrap here of fabric so I can see if it's going to show up. Now, when you do this and you load the stamp, I go around the edges of the stamp with my finger so that I'm trying to get away from any ink transfer that might happen to get around the edges. And this little bit on the back, this is a piece of painter's tape. It just makes a little handle that I can get a hold of the stamp. Male faces. Yeah, I'm not so good at male faces. That's going to work. Actually, we could turn these into male faces by getting away from the wiping out the eyelashes. You know, you can pretty much, a face is a face, and you can turn it into whatever you want to turn it into. But as far as drawing specifically male faces, I'm not really so good at that. You know, some things we're good at, some things we're not. Okay, so let's put this on here. We'll see if we can get it in the middle, more or less. And also, if you don't want to stamp the lips in brown, after you ink your stamp, you can just take a rag or your fingers and wipe the ink off. Good enough. You can wipe the ink off of the stamp with your finger if you don't want to get much ink, brown ink in the mouth area. You can do that. Okay, so to clean these off, I just use a rag, and I just clean them off with a rag, like so. Let's see. Just catching up on the chat for a minute. Barb, did you used to make appearances on Aleene's Creative Living? I did not, but I used to watch it. Hi, Bratty Patty. Good opaque white ink. Boy, that is the question of the ages, right along with the best white pen. Ian. The male faces I did for the watercolor found families were good. Yeah, those just kind of happen. They just kind of happen. You know, that's an accident. But thank you. Okay. All right, they're just chatting about ink pads and such. Okay, so we have our little face. This image's name is Hannah. And because it's on a dark fabric, I'm going to go straight to the black pen. I don't need to start with the white pen. I mean the brown pen. And I need a piece of scratch paper. So we're going to see if we can have a black pen that works. If not, I'll get out a new one. Oh, this is a good one. Yay! Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the top of the eye. So this is the top eye shape. So this is just kind of getting things started. So I go over the top of the eye shape on both eyes. And if you want to know if something is even or symmetrical, turn it upside down, and your eye will help you determine if it's symmetrical. I don't spend a lot of time worrying about that because no two sides of faces are the same. And I probably should do this over at the other camera so you could see what I'm doing. That would be a really good idea. Yes. That would be a really good idea. Let's try that, shall we? Get it here. Hang on just a minute. I'm just readjusting cameras. Okay, let's try this camera. All right, and I will turn it around so you can see it after I'm finished doing something. Okay, so I've outlined the top of the eye. And then I'm going to outline the sides of the iris. I don't go all the way around, I just do the sides of the iris. And then I'm going to put in her eyebrows. So this line that is here, that is the line that I think of as the eyebrows growing from that line, okay? Because, hi Bella. Because I like because eyebrows are made of hair, basically. So I let that line be where the eyebrows come from. Okay, and the eyebrows are going to look very bushy at the moment, and that is just the way I do eyebrows because I like eyebrows. Case in point, I like eyebrows. I think it gives the face character. And if you put hair on the face, or hair around the face, not on the face, duh, but around the face, it obscures the eyebrows a lot of times, and you've got to have more eyebrow than you think you do. All right, so we're going to put some eyebrows there. And because the fabric is dark, that's why I'm using black and why I'm being heavy-handed with the black. I'm going to put in some eyelashes, so I use what the stamp gives me, and then I ignore it. So I use it as a guideline and then promptly ignore it. You did see glitter sparkle. Yes, you did. Lorraine says, watching me do faces is therapeutic. Oh, good. That's great. I'm glad. And so I'm going to do eyelashes. Short and long, short and long. Less is more when it comes to eyelashes, but then who am I to say you can't do lots of eyelashes, right? And I'm going to put a few little eyelashes underneath. And the eyelashes under the eye, I don't allow them to touch that lower eyelid. Okay, so we've got the beginning of her face. Okay, so it's just sort of started with the black pen. Yeah, eyebrows can be wool on your doll faces or yourself. Okay, so that started, and what I was using was an 01 Pigma Micron 01, and I'm sorry that the light is going to reflect, but that's just the way it's going to be. So there's a Pigma Micron 01 in black. That's what I'm using. All right, I'm going to go to my brown pencils, and I use Prismacolor pencils because that's what I learned with, and that's what I have. So there you go. And we're going to start out with, what color is this? Sienna brown. We'll start with sienna brown and see if it shows up. And if it doesn't, we'll go to something darker. So this is going to lay in just my first coat of shading. This is just almost the same color as my fabric. It's just slightly darker. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see that. Yes, you can. So it's coming down the side of the nose, so it touches the nose, but it's on the face. And then I have some under the nose. Okay. Hi, Pauline. And then I'm going to come up around the eye, the part of the eye where it sinks back into the head, and I come up to the eyebrow, but I leave the center third of that eye alone. And I do the same thing on the other side. I go right over the eyelashes and right up over the top of the eye. But the center area right here, I leave alone. That's going to be highlighted. And then I put some of the color down in the lower lash line. But if you leave a space empty of color right in here between the upper and the lower, it just helps to give the eye more character and depth. Hi, Pauline. Hey, Sylvia. Nice to have you join us. Nice to have everybody. Thank you for coming and spending your Friday with me. So I'm going to just come across that lower eyelash line a little bit. And then I'm going to go to the other side. So that completes the initial shading on the left side of her face as we look at it. I'm going to come to the right side of her face. Now, I've only indicated, the stamp only indicates, you know, this part, one part of her nose. So the nose has thickness. So you need to leave some space in here to let the nose, the bridge of the nose, because it's going to stick up away from the face, right? So leave that free of color. Now, when you're doing this, I am not using a lot of pressure on this fabric. Less pressure is better. You can always add more layers. The more that you press, the more wax you're going to deposit on the fabric. And it would be better to add layers of color rather than go down real hard with color, get a layer of wax. I don't find that I have too much trouble with that on fabric, but you could have trouble with it on fabric. And so I have brought the shading. You see there's nothing in there, nothing in the middle, so that already begins to pop the nose up. Hi, Josie. It is like applying makeup, Stephen. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Uh-oh, Race is here. Race is in the house. The technical department has arrived. People behave, behave, behave. Oh my. Good thing the illegal fluids are off the table. Yes, indeed. So we have the color below the eye. We have color above the eye coming across the top of the eye and in the outer space, but the center third is blank and left alone. Now you'll notice I have not put any shading under the eye over here like I did on this one. See what a difference that makes? This has no shading, that has some shading. Makes a big difference. Alright, so I'm going to come over to this outside edge of this eye and I'm going to put in some shading, remembering that I'm not going to let it touch the shading above it. Adding the color softly. Softly. And the color comes down here around the eye in this area because this is affectionately referred to as the eye bag. Yes, the eye bag. Everybody has them. You know you do. You know what they are. So we have the initial shading put in. These are Prismacolor pencils. These are Prismacolor. These are actually Prismacolor Premier, although it says Sanford on it. This is it's an old pencil. Let's see if I have any that have Premier on them. Let me see. Pretty much everything I have is old enough that it says either Sanford or Barrel on it. But they're just the Prismacolor. This is the word you look for right here. Prismacolor. Okay? All right, so now as far as the rest, any additional shading that I want to start putting in, I'm going to put some coming down from her nose, touching her mouth just a little bit to indicate the bottom of her cheek. Just a little. I mean, I'm barely touching this fabric in a little crescent shape, just barely touching. And then I like to put some shading under her bottom lip to suggest that she has a chin down here. All right, so there is the beginning of our little shading of our face. Yeah, I don't have the Faber-Castell pencils. The only ones that I have are by Prismacolor. I have the Scholars and I have the Premier. So, but I know there's all kinds of other pencils out there. And I always say, try everything. Then I use my finger, the pad of my finger, and then I just rub around in a circle. It's kind of like scrubbing the shading in, scrubbing the pencil into the fabric. This melts the wax, and this is one of the reasons I like these pencils, because it will melt the wax into the fabric and it blends it right into the fabric. So it's one of the reasons I really like these pencils. And just that little bit of pressure and rubbing blends that color right into the face, into the fabric. Okay? All right, so let's put some color on here. We'll go back and add more shading in a little bit, but let's put some color on here. Let's give her some eyes, and just dig into my pencils here. I think we're going to give her green eyes because I just think they would look really nice with her skin tone. So this happens to be lime peel. The color I was using before was sienna brown. This one is lime peel. And so we're going to give her, I'm going to color just the iris. So I'll leave the area for the pupil alone. At the moment. So they're going to look a little ghostly. So that's lime peel. And then I'm going to use olive green, if I can find it here. This is olive green. So this is olive green that I'm going to use right there, olive green. And I'm going to use that to go around. And this one needs to be sharpened a little bit. I don't typically work with real sharp pencils on fabric, but sometimes you do need, in detailed areas, you do need a sharper point. But I still don't sharpen them super sharp. Some people would think, oh, you haven't sharpened it at all, but it's sharper than most of them. So I'm going to come back over the sides and across the top with the olive green, and that will deepen and kind of give that eye a little bit more shape. Okay, so there are her, and they look very fluorescent at the moment, however they're not. Okay, all right, the next thing I'm going to do, let's put the rest of her eyes in. This is where you need to have, when you work back and forth between pens and colored pencil, you must have a piece of scratch paper. So when you see this paper off here to the side, that's what it's for, to clean off my pen tip. So I'm going back to the black Micron pen, Pigma Micron pen. Let's see, is this black? Yeah, I think it's black. Yeah. And I'm going to put the pupil in. And I generally make the pupil larger than the stamp indicates. The stamp is only there as a guide. And what you really want to do is you really want to get those pupils to be as close to the same size as possible. And if you'll turn it upside down and look at it upside down, your eye will tell you if they're about the same size. They're close enough, close enough. Then clean off the pen tip on that scratch paper to keep the wax off of your pencil, off of your pen. Oh yes, they think they should be out here with everyone. They're meowing and being dutifully pitiful. While I have, oops, I forgot to set something on my computer here. Hang on a minute. All right. Let me take a second. I got to set something on my computer that I forgot to set earlier. So give me a second here. Okay, computer, wake up. All right, come on. Okay, I'm just going to have to deal with it because I can't seem to reset that at the moment. Okay, pardon my technical glitch. While I'm here with the black pen in my hand, I'm going to put in a suggestion of a nostril. So because her nose is kind of a side view, I'm just going to put that little nostril in there. You would only see one from this view. I'm going to give her some lips and some cheeks. So I'm going to start out with pink, and then we'll change it as we need to add a different color to it. But I'm going to start with pink, and that's all it is. It's just plain old pink or rose. Pink or rose, either one will work. That one's rose. Let's see. Are they the same color or different color? Let's see. PC 929. Same color, rose or pink. All right, I'm going to put her lips in with this pink color. Like so. So I'm just adding some color to her lips. Computer's napping. Yeah, I forgot to set it. And it's not cooperating with me at the moment. So I forgot to set it not to go to sleep on me, and yeah, we'll just deal with it today. And then I'm going to put some pink right on top of that initial shading, just a little bit. Down here at the bottom of her cheeks. Like so. So she has a little bit of blush going on down there. And then I'm going to use the heat of my finger to blend the cheek color and just kind of pat the lip color, just to kind of pat that color into the fabric. But you can see how it's how the color blends into the fabric so easily. That's one of the things I love about Prismacolor on fabric. There's a mouse on the screen. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for telling me. I missed seeing it. That happened last week. I had it on my face, right? Thank you for telling me. Cotton fabric. Pretty much cotton fabric is what I use, yeah. However, you could test it. I always say test it on everything. I say test it on everything. All right, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go to a highlight color. So I'm going to get out my light batch of pencils. And Actually, that's not what I want. I'm going to go to, all right, where are my light colored pencils? Here they are. I'm going to go to a peach. And because this is going to be, I think, light enough for us. So we're going to highlight the areas of the face that stick out. So this is going to be the nose, the middle third of her eyes, I'm going to put a little bit up here on where her forehead would be. And again, I'm not using a lot of pressure, and I'm going in all different directions. The one thing you must avoid when you're working on fabric, and probably on paper too, is you don't want to do this. You don't want to do harsh lines. Okay, if you want to have a suggestion of a line, then you want to do your pencil in all different directions. Or you can do little circular strokes to indicate a line. But you do not want to draw this. If I talk about a crescent shape looks like this. Okay, so that's a crescent shape. But when I'm working with the pencils, in order to get that, I'm going to be achieving that with all different directions of the pencil. All right, I'm not going to be drawing it. I'm just going to be letting the pencil create the shape. Alice, I didn't mention the color of the variegated thread, and I can't tell you exactly what it is. It's one of the King Tut colors, one of the purples. I don't know exactly what color it was. I do know I ran out of it, which is bad news. I got to get some more of that. It's one of the purple tones of King Tut thread. Bye, Nancy. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to put some of this flesh color at the top, or peach color at the top of her cheeks. What I try to do with the fabric is I try to start out with a color that is the mid-tone of the face. So here are the areas of highlight at the moment, and then I need to put some in her chin. So the areas of the face that come forward, those are the areas. Yes, Ruth, I ran out of purple. Yes, sad but true. Sad but true. And then I'm going to just blend that with my finger. And if you get too much of, like I've got a pretty harsh line right there with the highlight. I put a little too much line. I'm going to go back to the sienna brown, and I'm going to kind of blend that very lightly. And I'm going to blend over that line with the sienna brown because it pretty much almost matches the fabric. I'm going to blend right over the top of that, just to knock off some of the sharpness of that line. Okay, so we've got the idea of the highlighted areas. Now there's not enough dark, and there's not enough dark that in the shading, so I need to drop down to a darker color. So at that place, or at that point, I'm going to go to a purple. So I'm going to go to violet, and I'm going to use that to deepen my shadow colors. very lightly. And I don't use as much when I'm going to a deeper color. I don't use as much as the first shading color. And this color is violet. So I'm just going to have that on the one side, but can you see the difference that it makes? Now that's not blended, but can you see the difference it makes? Hi, Patricia. And then I need to put a little bit down here on this lower lash line. So there you can see what a difference her face is going to have now, how much more character this side of the face has than this one. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Add just a little bit, very, very light pressure. And a little bit in the lower lash line. And a little bit below her chin. So we've got some shading there. Okay, and you'll notice that these are not regular shapes. These are not shapes that you can draw a pencil around, and that is on purpose because it's so much easier to blend that than it is to try to, you just can hardly blend out a solid line. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And I'm going to add a little bit more lip color to her lips there, and I think I'm going to go to Tuscan Red. I like Tuscan Red. So this is Tuscan Red right here. And I'm going to color this on top of the upper lip. Boy, chances at it today. Oh. Now he's just complaining. And a little bit of the Tuscan Red on the very bottom of her lower lip. And so that takes those pink lips into a little bit more believable lip. And let's give her some eyeshadow. So eyeshadow. Well, let's see. What color should we do for eyeshadow? Let's do something wild and wacky, shall we? How about just looking here to see what I've got. I don't know how wild and wacky this is, but we'll use this lavender color. And this is just plain old lavender. So let's give her some eyeshadow. Which this is not going to show up, so we got to go to a different color. Let's try Parma Violet. But you need to have that shading in there to begin with. It really is important to have that before. Okay, so there's our eyeshadow. You need that shading in there. That really helps to define the eye first. The blender pencil on fabric, I'm really not sure because I've never tried it. It might, but I've never used it I've never had any need for it because my finger does all the blending. So that's the reason I haven't tried it, but it might be fine. My philosophy is always try everything. I'm going to put just a teeny little bit of that lavender down in the lower lash line, just a little bit. Okay, so she's got some eyeshadow popping. Yes, she does. And I'll blend that just a tiny little bit with my finger. I mean, I'm just barely touching. So there's her eyeshadow. I'm going to put some eyeliner on there. I'm going to use violet blue. This is touching the top of her eye. Same thing on the other side. I apologize for the whining Siamese in the background. He was closed in there all morning, and he doesn't want to be in there now. Okay, so there is her eyeliner and eyeshadow. Ian did a Harlequin today, and she has one red and one blue eyeshadow. How cool. Yep, she'll probably get some glitter here in a minute. Okay, I need to add some more to her cheeks here a little bit. And give her a little more color. And I'm actually going to go to an orange. Which color do I want? Maybe pumpkin orange. Let's see, is that what this is? Yeah, pumpkin orange. And I'm going to put a little bit of pumpkin orange on top of that pink right at the bottom of the cheek where it touches her lip. Faces can stand a lot of color. And when you're doing a face like this on a darker background, you know, with a darker skin tone, they can take a lot more color than you think they can. So I'm adding even a little bit of violet down here, which you'd think, oh no, she's going to screw it up. Just a little bit to I just kind of go back and forth with the pencils until I get what I like. Okay, so that's where we are so far. She's looking pretty good. CB knows who does my girls' makeup. Probably. Probably. Heavily influenced. Okay, we need to put the whites of her eyes in. And I'm going to use warm white. Okay, whoops, wrong camera. I'm going to use warm white so it's not stark white. And I need a tiny, tiny little brush. Now, sometimes people ask me why I put the whites of the eyes in at this stage. I don't know. I just started doing it this way, and that's just the way I do it. I find it, for me, it's easier to control if I do it this way. So I'm just going to paint out of the lid of the warm white. And I have a little bit of water here. So I'm going to get the brush wet and then dab it off on a towel. And then I'm going to pick up the white. And I'm going to put this in the little triangles on the sides of the iris. And once I get that paint in there with a tiny, tiny little brush, then I take my finger and I pat the paint. And the reason I do that is that helps to set that paint down into the fabric. But you do have to be careful that you don't transfer that paint onto other things in the face with your finger. Okay, so there are the whites of her eyes. So immediately her eye has popped forward. Bye, Ian. Carissa, I've never used polychromos, so I just I don't have any experience with them. If you have them, I would definitely try them. I've always used Prismacolor because that's what I had. That's what I learned with, and that's what I have. So, you know, I can't speak to any other pencils because I don't own them. Okay, so we have the whites of her eyes in there, which we're not finished with them yet, but we're getting there. So we got the whites of her eyes in. Things will look a little fuzzy here for a minute. Okay, good enough. Well, I have this color. I'm going to go ahead and put the sparkle dot in her eye. The sparkle dot goes in the same position on both eyes. I put it where the pupil and the iris touch. Be sure and wash out your brush, because a tiny brush with acrylic paint will set up very, very quickly. Another thing that you can do with the white paint is you can put a tiny little bit of highlight down here in the bottom lip. And then pat that into the pencil. And if it looks too dotty, which it does to me right now, it looks a little too dotty, I'll go back over that with pencil in a little bit after it's good and dry. Okay, so wash out your brush. And I'm going to hit this with a heat gun. Normally I just let it dry, but I'm going to use a heat gun. Thanks, Linda. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my black pen and I'm going to go around the outsides of my pupil, or my iris, sorry, the iris. And I'm going to come over the top of the eye one more time. This just starts sharpening everything up. And then sometimes I can put little spokes in the eye. It's just those little details that just kind of make her start coming to life. Bye, Cindy. Okay, now to even make her eye look a little bit better, because she's the dark tone, skin tone, it helps if you'll use a gray pencil, or you could use blue, and go on top of that white acrylic paint. Just at the top. Now this does need a sharp point, otherwise you'll turn the whole eye gray. And it helps to, I don't know whether you can tell that or not, but it helps to make that white part of the eye look a little more rounded back in the head. Okay, and I'm going to work on this lip just a little bit. Let's put some pink back on this. And then a little bit more Tuscan red on the bottom lip, the bottom edge. And that just helps to knock back that highlight a little bit. And then I'm going to use the black pen once again, and I'm going to emphasize the line between her lips a little bit. Because it just gives her a little bit more definition to her mouth. Okay, and then I might put some of her eyelashes back in. Because you tend to lose them using the all the colored pencil that goes over them, so you tend to lose the eyelashes. But you have to keep cleaning off the pen point, because you'll pick up the colored pencil on it, and you'll wipe out your colored pen or your Pigma pens. Okay, so we're going to call that one pretty much done. We'll put a little bit of sparkle on her eye shadow area. Let's see, where is my... All right, it's here somewhere because I got it out. Here it is. Bye, Deborah. I know. You are right. He wants out here with his people. He wants to be with his people. He is not happy. Okay, a little tiny flat brush, and I'm using Scribbles Glittering Crystal. And I'm going to go right over everything up here on the area above her eye. He is really being a pain today. And there's even sunshine. That usually means that we're going to get peace and quiet when there's sunshine. Okay, so she has some glitter on her eyeshadow area. And we might even put a little bit down here on her lower lip. He'll stop this as soon as it's time for me to let him out of there. Okay, be sure again to rinse all that out of your brush. And there she is with, depending on how you catch the light, she can look really glittery like that, or not quite so glittery like that. Okay, so that's that. All right, so we're going to call her face finished, and whether I put hair on her and so forth, I don't know, but we're going to call that one finished. Okay, let's go back to one of the light colors of fabric. See, I have an assortment of colors here. So let's go to this one. She is sparkly. And then be sure you sign your work. I know, Nikki Beauty Bliss, where are you? She must be working today. Okay, so let's switch to, and this face stamp, this one that we just did, this is Hannah. Okay, so this stamp goes with this face. This one is Hannah. So this is the stamp, that's the finished face. You don't have to glitter the eyeshadow if you don't want to. I think it's fun. And this one that we did before, last week, this one was Harriet, so that is that little face. That's Harriet. Okay, so let's now go to this one that's Hillary. Thanks, Krissa. Thank you, Dana. Okay, so this one is the face image Hillary. So we're going to go back to the light colored fabric, and I'm going to use Orange Blossom ink. So this is Archival Orange Blossom. So that's what I'm going to use. Now this one has a funny little nose on her. And if you tilt the stamp in the light, I don't know whether I'll be able to catch it or not, but if you tilt the stamp in the light, you can see whether it's inked, because it will be shiny. So her little nose, I'm going to wipe off a little bit of the ink, and I'm going to wipe off some of it from her mouth, just because I don't want that to stamp too darkly. So let me see if I can get this in the middle, more or less. I think I may have gotten it off to the side, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. Barb used glitter, Lindy. Yep. See, Lindy? Yeah. Okay, so what I've done is have mostly the eyes, which is what I was after. And I took out, because I wiped it off, I've got a line on this stamp right back here that indicates the bulbous part of the nose. So I just hit that with my finger, and I lightly scrubbed across the ink after I inked it with my finger. That way I didn't get all that brown ink down in her lips. I can still see where they are, but I don't need all that brown ink. This is more of a cartoon face. All right, so now I'm going to go to the brown pen. If I can find one that wants to work for me today. The brown Pigma pen. And I'm going to go over the top of her eye. This one is not going to work. I bought black pens the other day, but I forgot to buy brown ones. Okay, this is the top of her eye. This is a much more cartoony-like face. Wake up, computer, wake up. There we go. Forgot to make that setting adjustment before I went on the air. And I'm going to put her eyebrows in while I'm here with brown, because I am on a light colored fabric. So I start with brown. Definitely need some brown pens. And then I'm going to put the line between her lips in brown. So this is just a little line between her lips. And I'll put in the nostril. And we might give her some eyelashes. And the eyelashes are another thing. These lower eyelashes are a little thick, and so you can always wipe those off with your finger. Just because you ink the whole stamp doesn't mean you have to stamp the whole image. You can wipe things away before you stamp it, which is pretty cool. But it still gives you the basic positioning of things. Okay, so there's where we're starting. Hi, Q. All right. So now I'm going to go to my black pen, and I'm going to do a little more emphasizing of things. The brown on the light colored fabric is kind of my safety net, you know. It's kind of the thing that lets me be sure that I kind of know what things are going to do. Her pupil on this eye is up at the top. Put in a few eyelashes just to get her started. Not too many, and not too many eyebrows either on the light colored fabric in black. And let's just go ahead and outline the iris so we know what's going on there. And then we'll go to the other eye. Fill in the pupil. Go around the iris. Oh, and I forgot to put the tear duct on the eyes of the other one. We'll do that in just a second. And then go over the top of the eye. Give her a few black eyelashes. And a few black eyebrows. And a few other little eyelashes in black down here. Okay, let me go back to this one and put the tear duct in because I forgot. So with a red or pink Pigma pen, dry, dry, dry. Some of these pens need to be thrown out. Okay. You want to put in the tear duct right on top of the white acrylic paint on the inner part of the eye. It's a tiny little triangle in red or pink. And the reason I do that is because it just adds one final little touch to the eye. Like so. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but it's there. Krista says, how gorgeous does this thread look at the edge of the card? It's like a colorful hug around the card. I know, you cannot beat King Tut thread. I'm telling you, you can't. Hi, Sherry. Okay, so that's what we have so far. I'm going to go to my shading color, which in this case is going to be terracotta. And I'm going to come down both sides of the nose very lightly, okay, in the eye bag area and down beside the nose. I'm going to put a little bit, I can still see that little line that's there where the nose, the ball of the nose is. I'm going to put a little shading behind that. So just a little bit of shading right there behind that ball. A little shading around the sides of the nose, on the face. a little shading under the nose above the top lip. And then I'm going to put the shading in above the eye, just like I did on the other one. So her eyes tend to look usually a little bit dreamy, but she's also very cartoon-like in her face and expression and so forth, which is fun. None of these are meant to be super realistic. They're just meant to be fun and to give people, they're doll faces. And they're meant to give people some confidence in their, that they could do a face that actually looked like a face. That's the whole point, you know? Because I can't tell you how many people, oh, I can't draw a face, can't draw a face. Well, yeah, you can. Use a stamp. Doesn't have to be a realistic face. It could just be a fun little cartoon face. Okay, so we've got the shading set. Hi, Rosie. And then I'm going to use my finger, which by this point has acrylic paint and all kinds of other stuff on it. It seems to be fully dried, so we should be good to go. And then I'm just going to blend the shading in. So, blending in circular motion with my finger. The heat from my finger is what blends the color pencil. It heats that wax up and blends it into the fabric. And you have to have more color in these faces than you would imagine that you'd have to have, because anytime you put anything around the face, hair, hats, anything that comes up close to the face will tend, it has the effect of bleaching color out of the face. Doesn't actually bleach the color out, it just has that effect. Okay, so there's some shading. All right, let's go to some highlights. And I don't always do things in the same order. I guess you can tell that, right? Because that's just the way I do it. It's like, oh, let's do this next. Oh, let's do that next. Okay, so I'm going to use, this color is cream. And so this is going the center third of the eye. And different colors can take different amounts of pressure with the pencils. Like the cream on this color of fabric can take a little more pressure to put it down. The brown tones on this color fabric, you can't put much pressure because they put down so much color. So we're just putting the cream color any place that the face would stick out and catch the sunlight. So the forehead, the center third of the eye, underneath the eyebrow, the tops of the cheeks, the tip of the nose, the tip of the chin, or the part of the chin that sticks out. Bye, Dana. Good to see you. Okay, and then again, kind of clean off the color pencil from your finger, the shading color, and then just blend with your finger. And if you have trouble getting something to blend, like if you get too much wax from the pencil laid down, then you can come back with another color and you can blend with that other color. For example, I can take this peach color if I need it, and I can come back and I can blend that over that cream color if it was too pronounced. Okay, so there you go. She's looking a little splotchy at the moment, but she'll be all right. She'll be all right. We're going to give her some pink lips. She's got a little kind of a rosebud kind of a mouth. And we're going to give her some pink cheeks in a crescent shape down here toward the bottom. Remember, I said don't draw the crescent shape, just let it happen with the pencil strokes. And her face is straight on, so you kind of try to get things even. So there's where Linda says she sees a big head with a bird on top of it. A pigeon. Some days you're the statue, some days you're the pigeon, right? Okay, let's give her some eyes. We're going to give her blue eyes. I'm going to use periwinkle. So this is periwinkle. I don't know if you can see it right. Yeah, you really can't read that, but it's periwinkle. So we're going to put periwinkle in for the colored part of her eye, which is the iris. And then to shade that, I'm going to use violet blue, which I have here somewhere because I had it out. And I'm going to use that right around the bottom, kind of the rim of the iris, right on top of the periwinkle, and then up the sides. So we've given her some blue eyes, yes, and now let's give her some eyeshadow. And maybe for eyeshadow, let's see, what color eyeshadow shall we give her? Maybe, how about some turquoise, aqua, something light aqua. Now remember that you've already got a shading color down there, so that's going to affect what this color looks like. But we're still going to get some color out of it. And it's a pretty color. So this is light aqua. And I may put a little bit down here in her lower lash line just because she's probably got, you know, she looks like this, she's probably got some makeup going on down there, right? Okay, so we've got a little bit of light aqua eyeshadow going on, and then I think we'll use violet blue for her eyeliner. So everything you do to these little faces just increases the illusion of 3 dimensions. And, you know, it all starts with a stamped 2-dimensional thing with very few lines. So I think it's kind of fun. I've always enjoyed doing them, even though I've done them literally hundreds of times. Bye, Dawn. Good to see you. Okay, so we've got a little bit of eyeliner going on. All right, let's do the whites. Well, before we do that, let's shade her lips. We'll shade the bottom, shade the lips with Crimson Red, which is one of my favorite colors. Crimson Red. And so I'm going to go over her top lip. And just on the very bottom bit of her lower lip. Okay, so we've shaded in her little lips, right? Oh, the cursor again. Thank you. It's a good thing Linda's here to help me with that, because I don't even notice it. Sad but true. Okay, I'm just grabbing a white. This is whitewash. It was just what I could reach, so that's what we're going to use. Whitewash. Could be any color of white. I'm using white as opposed to off-white because of this skin tone. Back to the teensy little brush. And I'm going to paint in the whites of her eyes. This is the part where I tend to hold my breath, which makes it hard to talk, I have to say. And because her eyes are a little bigger, it takes a little more paint to fill in this area. And then I still touch it with my finger and get off any excess, and then that embeds it into the fabric. Bye, Dee Dee Sue. Thanks for coming. I know, Bad Mouse is right. Bad Mouse. Okay. We'll do the other one. I did try doing this with the Posca pen, and it did not want to work well, so I just went back to my brush and paint. This is what I've always used. It's just a tiny brush and white paint, so you know, but I always try new things just to see, will it work? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Okay, so we've got the whites of her eyes in there. So now what we need is a sparkle dot. So I pick up white paint, the same white paint I've been using, and where the pupil and the iris meet, that's where I put the sparkle dot, like so. And now she has a place to look. Okay, so far so good. You guys are really quiet today. Chance is finally quiet. Shh, don't wake him up. Don't wake him up. So let me hit this with a heat gun. Thanks, Linda. Linda says she's cute. Hi, Anne. Have I ever painted the faces on slices of wood? Trying to think. I've done them on a lot of different surfaces. I don't know whether I've done them on wood or not. I can't remember. How pitiful is that? Most of the time I do them on fabric. So, yeah, I don't know that I ever have done them on wood. Don't know that I have. Okay, we're going to go over the bottom edge of the iris again. With the black pen. Because what that does is it just sharpens everything up. And then I'm going to go back over the top edge of her eye one more time. For the same reason, it just sharpens everything up. And then we're going to use the red pen and put in the little tear duct. The little sparkle of red really makes a difference to me. So I put that little sparkle of red in the center of, or the inner edges of each eye. You can go back and put more eyelashes on. It just adds a little, you know, everything you add, a little more layer, a little more layer, a little more layer. I'll emphasize the nostrils a little bit more. The line between her lips just a little bit. And you can keep playing as much as you want. Then of course you can put sparkle on her. You can put glitter on her if you want. Bye, Pauline. Nice to see you. Okay, so there is that little face. So we can put, do you guys want glitter on her or not? It's totally up. I'm going to let it totally be up to you guys. So these two faces, this one's Hannah, this one is Hillary. So you tell me if you want sparkly eyeshadow. If you do, we'll put it on. If you don't, we won't. But that gives you those two little face images. Nah, no glitter, Linda says. Okay. All right. That took care of that. All right. Hillary needs some freckles. Ah, that's a good point. That's a good point. We'll give her some freckles. See if I can find a brown pen that works. Okay, we gave her just a few freckles across her nose. Good enough, huh? Harriet, this face, I often give her a beauty mark, because she just needs to have a beauty mark. Okay, we got one more to do. Let's see if we can knock this one out pretty quickly. And this one's Odie Vern. Like her without glitter. Okay. This is Odie Vern. Odie Vern she was based on a real person. She was quite a character. This one is my older face. I didn't wipe anything off the stamp this time. We're just going to let it be whatever it is, however it comes out. So this is Odie Vern. She is my funny old woman. Thanks, Travis. So this is my funny old Odie Vern. And so we're going to start with, let's go back to the brown pen. And we're just going to, and she's another comical kind of face. So I'm just going to kind of true up some of the lines here. I have to say these were a very popular way for people to learn to do faces. I did them and taught people to use them and do faces this way for a very long time. And it's still a good way to learn to do faces, in my opinion. Now in this face, she's looking off to the side. So she's going to have a different, her eyes are not the same as the other characters. Because her eyes are at two different angles. And if you knew Odie Vern, you would understand why she's just half a bubble off. She's a couple tacos short of a combo plate, so to speak. Doesn't mean that she doesn't have her eyelashes. Doesn't mean that she's not still styling, folks. No, Odie Vern's a styler. It's stitched right through the cardstock. Yeah, I fused the fabric. Hi, Rain Girl. Rain Girl. Can't remember your name, Rain Girl. You'll have to tell me your name if you want me to use your real name. Whoops, sorry. So I fused the fabric to the cardstock, cut out the pieces, and then did the stitching. Is it Rain? It could be. I've forgotten. My apologies. Okay, back to terracotta. I know, Ruth, it's the truth. You know exactly what I meant too, didn't you? Terracotta. And we're going to give her some shading beside her nose, under her lip. Now, she's got very pronounced lines that go from her nose down to her mouth. So we're going to emphasize that. Real name is Cindy. Okay. Okay, got it. Long as I don't lose my paper, I'm good. A little beside the outside of her nose, a little bit of shading under her bottom lip, a little shading above her eyelids, come on, wake up, computer. I do apologize for the black screen. I forgot to set my computer before we started, not to go to sleep. It's tired today. It's a tired little computer today. Okay, so there is the beginning of our shading. So you can see with all of the lines, it makes her it ages the face a lot with all the lines right away. The face is aging, although I want her to maintain this silly character because that's who she is. That's our Odivern. It's O-T-I-V-E-R-N. That's how her name was spelled. And she is a funny, funny character. Now, she does have eyebrows, and I forgot to put them in. This is the eyebrow line up here. Now, the age that her face is, she's not going to have too many eyebrows, but, you know, she still has eyebrows. I'm sure she added the eyelashes. I'm sure those are an addition, but it's hard to add to your eyebrows unless you draw them on. Okay, so we've given her some eyebrows up here, right here, and here. This is her eyelid. These are eyebrows. Yeah, no, not a serger, just a regular sewing machine. Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for helping me out there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put in her lips. I need to sharpen this pencil. This one's getting just too dull for words. Okay, put in her little lips in pink. We're going to give her, now we're going to emphasize her makeup because she's styling, but you know, she's a little hard of, her eyesight's not as good as it used to be, you know what I mean? So she's probably not so good at blending out makeup. So we're going to give her, we're going to rosy her up a little bit. We're going to give her a little pink on the tip of her nose. And because these areas are really small, I'm going to blend using a color pencil. I think this one is light peach, so I may be able to do the cheeks. Let's see. After I do so many of these, I end up with all kinds of colors on my finger, and so I get some interesting colors. Okay, on the tip of her nose, I'm going to blend this pink that I put in there using light peach because I don't want that to be too prominent. And I'm going to blend the top of this cheek color with this light peach also, just to kind of blend that back into the fabric a little bit. Just so we get a little, I mean, I want them to look really rosy, but I don't want them to look like stripes painted on her face. Hey, Carla. Kitty Gina Meow, I love your name. Someone know about the King Tut thread. Q, what would you like to know about it? It is by the company Superior, and it is 100% cotton, and it is in, it's a 40 weight thread. It requires a 90 top, or they suggest a 90 top stitching needle. What else do you want to know? It's a variegated, it is a variegated thread. This is one example. This is one of the colorways it comes in. The purple around the edge is another. It's variegated. I don't know if you can tell, but they're all variegated threads, and they're really beautiful. Some of them are very, hi Kate. Some of them are very subtle, like the green on this is a very subtle variegation, although it is variegated. It's 100% cotton thread. It works beautifully in sewing machines. I've never heard of anybody having trouble with it, which is one of the reasons I love it. You can find it, if you can't find it in a local quilt shop, then I would go online and do a search. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. I usually have links to most of the supplies I use in the description box after the video goes, not when it's here live, but when it is, when I put the recording up on YouTube. But that's usually a day or two after the live show. So does that help? Bye, Linda. Isn't she funny? She is a funny character, isn't she? Okay, so I'm using light cerulean blue for the iris of her eye, because I think she would have blue eyes. I usually give her blue eyes or lavender eyes because that's just what she thinks that she likes, and that just seems to be what she would have. The only time you can have lavender eyes is when you're the age that Miss Odivern is, and I don't know how old she is. And I'm going to come back with some violet blue, and I'm going to outline the outer edge and the top very lightly on top of the blue, just to give it a little, give her a little more dimension. Very light pressure. This is a strong color. And if you get too much, then you just come back with your light cerulean blue and blend back over the top of it. Okay. All right, we need to highlight her face a little bit. And I'm going to put some highlight, needs to go above, right under her eyebrow. So right under her eyebrow. And I'm going to actually make that come right down over her eyelid. So just because I have a line there in from the stamp doesn't mean I necessarily always follow it. Putting a little highlight in between the wrinkles. I'm going to put some highlight on her nose. And we need to get some highlight on her cheeks. Her little face is really squished up. You know, you don't have a lot of room on her little face to do a whole lot. So you gotta make it work, you know. You got to do the best you can. If somebody will remind me, I have some of these faces done on covered buttons. If you remind me, I'll show them to you when we get to the end of the show, which we're almost there, so you'd think I could remember that, but I might not. So, yeah, if you want to see a few more examples of the faces on covered buttons, I'll be glad to do that. Okay, I got to go back to my pencil here because I can't, her nose is so tiny, I can't blend that. So I'm going to blend it with a colored pencil that is as close to the flesh tone as I can get. Okay, so there is our highlighted and shaded little face. And then she needs some eyeshadow, of course. Of course! And what other color of eyeshadow would she use besides lavender? I mean, seriously, what other color would she use? So we're going to give her some lavender eyeshadow. Because of course, that's what she would have, right? And she might have some violet eyeliner, so we're going to give her a little bit of eyeliner. Okay, so she's got a little bit of eyeliner and eyeshadow going on. Maybe she needs a little bit more color down here. Just a little bit more color. Because like I said, she is an older face, and so she's got character, man. She has got character lines. She is a character all by her own self. So we're just going to give her a little bit more color in here. This is peach. I'm just adding a little bit more color. And I'm going to put a little bit of the Parma Violet. I'm going to bring a little bit of that down in the eye bag because, well, we know she would have some color down there, wouldn't we? A little bit under her nose, a little bit in her chin. I'm going to paint the whites of her eyes in, and we're almost done, folks. We're almost done. Lavender is close enough to purple. Yes, yes it is. Okay, so we're going to put the whites of her eyes in, give her a sparkle dot. Now you guys get to vote whether she wants glittery eyeshadow or not. All right, so we got the whites of her eyes in. We're going to give her a sparkle dot because we know she needs to be looking somewhere. We don't know what she's looking at, but she's looking at it. Yes. Ruth says yes. She's supposed to have glitter. All right. It's Ruth's fault. Ruth decided. All right. So we're going to put a little bit more of glittering crystal out here. Get a brush, which is taking a hike at the moment. Okay, where's the brush? All right, we're going to have to... Oh, here it is. Found it. I don't know how stuff can walk off right in front of you. I really don't. I really, really, really don't. But it does. Okay, so there is her eyeshadow. Now has sparkles in it. We forgot to shade her lips, so we're going to give her just a teeny bit of red lipstick, don't you know? And she needs a tear duct up here in this white part, but I'll do that later after the paint dries. But anyway, there's Odie Byrne. There she is. Well, now you guys, we're not putting nipples on her jowls. No, those are just jowls, okay? You guys are bad. You guys are bad, bad, bad. Okay, so there's Odie Byrne. There's Hillary. There's Hannah. And here's Harriet. Okay, so here they all are. Harriet, sorry, trying to get them in here. Harriet, Odie Byrne, Hillary, and Hannah. There they go. Yeah, I don't know what she'll want for hairdo. I don't know. I'm thinking it could be lavender hair, but I don't know. Just seems like that's what it would be, doesn't it? All right, let me put these out of the way. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun doing them for you. So if you're interested in the stamps, if you're still interested in the stamps, you can check the link in the description box. They're called Fun Faces rubber stamps. You are welcome to have them as long as I have them in stock, which is... We still have them. I don't know for how long, but we still have them. Okay, so let's get the sponsors out. Just trying to get some room here. Sponsor room, right? Sponsor room. And then I'll get the covered buttons while I'm in there. Okay, I'll be right back. What's he doing? Okay. So while the cats are making their way in here, I'll show you these. What? This is the Odie Byrne face done in thread. So this is all hand embroidered with sewing thread. So that's Odie Byrne's face done in thread. Many of these are like stitched faces. These are stitched doll heads. So this is Harriet. Here's Harriet with, she's turned in, oh, she doesn't have a pin on the back. These are actually, can be worn as pins. You just put a pin back on it so you can wear them as a pin, like a coat pin. I know. They're on the floor. Look, this is pathetic. This is pitiful, you guys. Look at this. Look. They're on the floor looking up at me like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Yeah. Like, what is wrong with you? I don't use the Prisma blender. No, I don't. I just use my finger. Just my finger. Okay, let me bring them up here because they're getting restless here. Okay, come here. I know. Come on. Ugh. There we go. There's one. You coming up? Are you coming up? All right, come on. Ugh. Charlie is very close at the moment. He's rubbing his face on the camera. Okay, Charlie, you're a camera hog. You're a camera hog. You're a camera hog. Bye, Muriel. Thanks for being here. Okay, I'm trying to get you some room. Yes. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to whack your face. I didn't mean to whack your face. Okay, lie down, bud. Lie down so they can see you. Lie down. Here we go. Okay. Are you... Chance doesn't know what to do because Charlie took his spot, so he's just wandering around. So apparently Charlie is going to be the one. You got a dirty face. Goodness sakes, your face is dirty. Your face is dirty. Yes. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you the rest of those faces next week. How's that? Here's Chance. Okay. Whew. Herding cats today, people. Herding cats. All right, I'm going to go. I'm gonna go. We'll see the rest of the faces next week. And next week I'm gonna be painting next week I'm gonna be painting a wood carving for Clausman. So yeah. So come back next week if you want to see that. It's a 3-dimensional, it's a hummingbird with a flower. It's a beautiful piece. So I'm going to be painting that next week. So that's the plan. So if you'd like to see that, come on back next week. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for being here. And, oh, good, Debbie. I'm glad you made it live. That's wonderful. Thanks to everybody for being here. I will see you next week, same time, same place. And until then, remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.